what's going on? Ooh, geez, I'm really loud. 1 second here. Let me turn myself down. There we go. That's a little better. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 205 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. My name's Dave McCrae, coming to you live from the Voice Man Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. Tonight, we were supposed to have a guest on, but we'll talk all about it, but it's just an impromptu horror hangout. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 205 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. My name is Dave McCrae. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. Tony, how you doing?
Good, man. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. We see that Nick Jenny is in the chat. Shout out to Nick, who was supposed to be on the show tonight. Nick, do not fret. Do not worry. These things happen. We just felt, you know what? I know what it's like when you got the pressure on you and you're supposed to go live and you got people waiting, you're sitting there trying to figure shit out. And the best thing to do is just to kind of take the pressure off, figure it all out, and then you let me know, hey, Dave, I figured it out. I'm ready to go. Let's reschedule. You know what I mean? And then, hey, it's all good, right? Everybody wins. So we were supposed to do the Dr. Sleep episode tonight with Nick Jenny, but we will not be talking about Dr. Sleep tonight because we want to save that for when we talk about it with Nick. But we just thought, let's come on anyway and have a horror hangout and, just hang out and talk some horror, talk some shit and, see what's going on. Tony, your Thanksgiving is next weekend. Next Thursday. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, you're right. The last Thursday Thursday of every month, of every November. That's right. Anyways, how you doing?
Good. How's it going with you?
It's going all right. Yeah. I don't know why the microphone keeps moving out here. Let me put this up here like this. That'll probably take care of it. So you were just watching the Scream trailer, the Scream 7 trailer. I did a show on it last week, but I am very curious to know your thoughts on the Scream 7 trailer.
Definitely getting a Scream 4 kind of vibe with it. Too early to tell. I need to obviously see a little bit more. Obviously, I need to see the movie.
Right.
Not making any speculations about Stu. I know he's coming back. I still think that should have been a surprise to the fans, while watching the movie. I wish that was not something that they had told us ahead of time.
Right.
But yeah, it's Scream. It looks like a Scream movie.
It does.
Obviously, everyone's talking about, I saw the shot of Ghostface leaving the house burning down. I'm like, all right, so we're going to just like Michael Myers, rip off Michael Myers, right?
Let it burn!
Not rip off Michael, but like Michael walking out of a house on fire, which was like the one good thing with Halloween Kills.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Ghostface is going to have to do the same shit. Only got to see one shot with Courtney Cox. Don't know who else is going to be in this.
It's interesting. I have a question for you. So when I watched the trailer, what was it, like a week and a half ago, nearly 2 weeks ago now when it came out. I think it's 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And I said this on my show. One of the things I noticed about when I was watching it, the first thing that stuck out to me was now I'm a feely kind of, mood atmosphere, that kind of guy anyway, but, the first thing that stuck out to me was not any of the details or things like that. I mean, obviously I did notice it. Oh, Stu's house is up in flames. Interesting. But was the feeling of the trailer, and the feeling felt very serious. Like it didn't.
There's definitely a bit more of a serious tone.
Yeah.
Not so lighthearted.
Like if you take Ghostface out of it or replace it with a ski mask or something, right? This could be like just another thriller. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have yet. I mean, there's still more promos and trailers to come, of course, but in this first one, I didn't feel that, everybody's a suspect, kind of whimsy, self-aware, self-referential kind of stuff.
And that's why if you go back and watch Scream 4, what Wes was trying to do in that one is he was trying to, yes, there was comedy in there at times, but very, very little. And it's certainly has more of a darker, more serious tone than like Scream 2 and Scream 3 had.
Right.
I think, what Wes was doing in there, bringing up the, especially at the time, right? Because this is back when social media was in its infancy,
right?
But being famous and being popular on social media, Wes, really tapped into that and brought that into the serious tone of Scream 4, and that's kind of like what I felt when watching this, but even more serious. You know what I mean? Just like you said, there isn't the campiness that you typically see in a Scream movie, like. Ghostface ain't fucking around. Like, we're not here to fucking dick around. We're not here to fucking play games. Like, shit's getting real.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I'm hoping that's what we get. And that it just, we're not just getting cut pieces of, a trailer to make it look that way and then ultimately just get a typical Scream movie, because we're in the 7th film of the franchise. It's just like, what else do you do? And honestly, if ramping it up and making it more of a serious movie, okay, I'm cool with that. Like, let's see. But again, it's just trailer. It's just cut pieces from scenes to make it look a certain way. Is that the ultimate delivery we're going to get?
I don't know. It's a good question because, I've often, and I've said this, and we've talked about this. I mean, we talked about this when we were talking about, Scream 5 and Scream 6. We did watch-alongs of those movies. And, I've wanted for a long time, I've wanted there to be a cliffhanger ending. I know that goes a bit against the whole sort of whodunit kind of thing, because at the end of the story, you're supposed to find out who did it, but that doesn't mean you can't extend that over 2 movies. And I thought it would be very cool to kind of have an ending where you're like, wait a minute, there's not enough time in the movie here to find out who did it, and all of a sudden it's this. And there was a guy that said, I forget his name now, maybe he's watching, but on my show last week, he brought up something really cool, because I said most people who want Stu back, and I'm personally of the camp where I think he should remain dead, but that's me. But most people who want Stu back, they don't want him back in like an AI kind of way or a deep fake kind of way or in a flashback kind of way. I mean, Scream fans,
or like what they did with Billy in the other.
Right. And that was handled respectfully and with care, but that's not what they really want, right? When they say we want Stu back, you want him alive, that he somehow survived the television on the on the head.
Fucking Ghostface. That's what you want.
Right. Exactly. That's what you want. However, is that they haven't made that promise. The studios haven't made that promise. They haven't said anything, right? So if that is, and because they're also bringing back Dewey and they're bringing back Roman, and they're definitely dead. Well, at least Roman is. He got shot in the head. And so I wonder, how are they bringing them back? Is it flashback?
And as you said that, I keep forgetting that Roman is going to be in this. And I'm like, bro got his brains,
exactly.
Blasted.
So that doesn't mean they're all coming back in the same way, but when fans,
it's how it's executed.
Exactly. And when fans say they want him back, they mean we want, we want him back. But you can't get angry at the studio if that doesn't happen. If it does end up being AI or a flashback, they didn't promise you anything else. But to finish my thought, and then I'll let you jump on your thought, there is that a guy said last week, he said, because I had said, revealing Stu that he's in the movie, it's too bad they didn't keep that for the surprise, but they probably wanted to get ahead of it because they felt it was a secret they couldn't keep. And so we want to control the narrative, control the information, which is all about, that's what it's all about. And so that's probably why they did it. But what if throughout the movie, he said this, and it's not actually a bad, because where's the element of surprise now? You know he's in the movie, so that element of surprise is kind of, we kind of know he's there. Well, one way this viewer said that you could do it was, let's say the movie is about AI, right? Or there's an AI component to it, because obviously the Scream films are very sort of, up on the times and meta of the current kind of stuff that's going on. And let's say it is AI. We have no evidence that it is, but let's say it is. And Stu is back in the movie as an AI voice or an AI image on a screen. And throughout the movie, you're like, oh, that's how he's back. Okay, well, whatever. But then at the end of the movie, you get my cliffhanger ending, and the mask comes off, and it's fucking Stu, baby, standing right there in the flesh with like scars on his face and all that kind of stuff. That would give fans that shock and reveal, because through the whole movie, you're thinking he's AI, and you're like, he's just AI, who cares? But then all of a sudden, he's actually there. Now, that still doesn't take away from the fact that I think he still should be dead. But that could be cool for Scream fans. But anyway, I thought it was kind of a cool idea. But Tony, take it away.
No, I was just going to say, of all the people who played Ghost, or who were supposed to be Ghostface throughout the franchise, his death, I can suspend my disbelief a little bit as a disfigured Stu, right? With the TV falling on his head, that he doesn't completely die. Like I can wrap my brain around that and go, okay, where has he been though for all these years?
That's the question. Where has he been? How has he been hiding out? What's been going on?
Certainly a disfigured Stu, I could buy into. Not sure if I want to. I hope they leave AI out of this. I really do. But I also understand that you are correct. Scream is very meta, and they do like to incorporate, like even what I was just saying, what Wes did with Scream 4 and the birth at that time, that was really at the birth of social media and everyone obsessed with becoming famous or being, her cousin trying to be just like Sydney.
That's it.
And being as popular as Sydney and whatnot. And Wes tapped into that because that was kind of around when all that was starting to happen with social media influencers. So you're probably right. I'm not really a big fan of the AI. I haven't quite caved into that and using it yet. I'm still like, I'm probably going to be the last one on the block. I'm going to be that guy that like everybody else is using it. And I'm like,
actually,
fuck
folks,
that shit.
Actually, folks, to be crazy right now, Tony and I are not real. We are AI now. We are AI. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, we're just going to not do our show could go on forever and we don't have to do anything. Sorry.
But, so, there is that approach, or there is a simple way of approaching it that, he's the killer and it's just him. The two killers, like it's been done, and it's always expected in a Scream movie. If you want to do something different,
has there ever been one killer?
That's what I'm saying. Roman. Well,
was he the only killer in Scream 3?
It's been a minute since I watched Scream 3.
Chat room will let us know.
Because in 2, it was, what's his name? The film student. Mickey, right? And then the mom, right? Billy's mom.
Yep. Billy Loomis's mother.
Scream 4 was Culkin, and Sydney's cousin. I don't even remember 5 and 6 to be honest with you.
Well, Scream 5 and 6 both had two.
Yeah, I know they did. I haven't watched. I only watched those movies once with you, and I haven't watched them since.
Same. Now, here's a question for you. Here's another one. So again, last week on the show, it came up, and I said, I get why people are so excited. So you have the new clan in Ortega and Barrera bowing out. There's a whole blah, 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 blah around that. That's for another thing. But okay, so they're about out. So they bring back Sydney. Okay, so Sydney's back, but now Dewey is back, and Roman is back, and Stu is back, and we don't know which way they're back yet. But now it feels like it could be a greatest hits thing happening, but maybe not. Who knows what happens? If Stu is back and he's back, he's not like AI. He's not deep fake. He's not in a flashback to Sydney's mom's funeral or something. He's actually back. Well, then the question becomes, isn't that the peak Like, isn't then like, that's like the peak, like the ultimate sort of, ace in your back pocket. Where does the franchise go after that? Let's say, because if we are to believe that this Scream movie is going to be like every other one, every killer at the end of every Scream movie dies, apart from Stu, perhaps, maybe, at the end of the first one. So, but if Stu actually kicks the bucket in this one, it's a big finale and he kicks the bucket, where do you go from there? Where does the Scream franchise go? Like, you're hitting your ultimate peak and, oh my God, Stu is back. I mean, it's like, what do you, like, where do you go?
The only way, if you want to capitalize on it, is like you said, if he was the only killer and he's revealed at the end of the movie by taking off the mask, and they want to at least carry it into one more film, because you really can't. I mean, there really is. I mean, like,
I see what you're saying.
We're past jumping the shark,
right?
At this point, with the franchise. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe if Melissa and Jenna want to come back, but I don't see that happening.
Their arcs are done. I mean,
pretty much. And Ortega's off doing all her other stuff, that she's busy working and whatnot. So
yeah, poor thing. I hope she gets some work soon.
I know, right? For real. I just saw something that they're gonna do. I forgot what movie it was now that they're doing. It's a big name too. And the whole it's a movie they're doing. And
Ortega?
No. It was on Instagram. I was just scrolling and it popped up on my feed. I can't remember what the fuck the movie is now, but what I do remember vividly is the comment section goes, "Please cast anybody but Jenna Ortega." Damn. Like, that was like the common comments,
right.
In that thread. I mean, I get it. She's in everything. And it was a big name. It was a big franchise name. I can't remember it.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think their arcs are done.
It's people have, I understand why fans of the new generation are upset about the whole thing and how it all ended. But I did say, if there's any solace to take, you can at least take solace in the fact that, intentional or not, I mean, obviously it wasn't intentional because they were planning to bring Barrera back. But you can look at the end of Scream 6 and it does have a completion. She has her father's mask. She drops it on the ground and walks away with her sister. That right there is telling the audience, it's cinematic language. I am not my father. I will not repeat the same mistakes. I will not have the life that he did. I am leaving the mask behind. She drops it on the ground. She walks away. That's it. Her story's done. And so had she taken the mask with her, then it's right. And so now, could you continue to go on? Yes. But if, as I've said, and this, take it. Take the win. I know you want them back because you want to revisit those characters, but if they never do, if Barrera never comes back, if Ortega never comes back, fans of those characters, take the win. Although it was an intentional win, you lucked out, because there's so many of us horror fans that get attached to characters and then they just stop. They just stop making them, or there's no arc, or they die. They're like, they die, like that's their exit, they die. This was an actual beautiful ending. She's holding that mask, she's looking at it. Her sister's like, come on, let's go. And she's looking at it. What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? She drops it on the ground. That is the symbolism. She walks away. Now we can, but what happened after? It doesn't matter. She walked off away. She rebuilt her relationship with her sister. Yeah, she went to dinner. They lived happily ever after. That's the moment. Whether it was intentional to end it there or not, it is an ending. There is a completion to the arc. So there is no, and I know there's people that often say, but what about her mother and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, she went and made up with her mother. I mean, it doesn't matter. The real focus on Barrera's character was the psychological effects of the vision she had with her father and her past and how she's going to deal with that. What does that mean? Am I going to be like my father? Am I going to be a killer like my father? Dropping the mask means no. And that's it. End of story. No, that's the end. It doesn't have to be the end, but if she never comes back, at least take solace in the fact that, well, there is an ending, because us horror fans don't get that a lot. I mean, we really don't, it just they just stop making them. We're like, yeah, but what happened to, but what about that? What happened to, but yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Some people have said the Scream trailer just kind of looks Like they're disappointed. They kind of looks just like a Scream movie. Like they were expecting, I guess, something more. I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know what you're expecting. I mean, it's Ghostface, it's Scream, he's calling Sydney, and and yeah, I mean, like obviously, they're hitting the beats that they're giving us the familiarity. So I don't know what you're expecting, or what the bar is at this point with the movie. So I have no expectations. I'm going in there just to see it, to have fun with it, and if it turns out to be at least somewhat of an enjoyable movie, then that's a win. You know what I mean? I mean, when you're 7 movies in, like you're 7 movies in, and
it's true.
I mean,
and how many great 7th installments are there really? Halloween H2O.
Yeah.
I mean, although I will say and it's true.
I look at Halloween. It's funny you say that. I was thinking about this over during Halloween season, as you said that about H2O.
Yes.
I look at that movie now in a totally different light. I look at that movie as like an anniversary movie.
Yeah.
That it's just like
it's not a terrible movie.
No, but it's like I look at it as like it's a one-off. It's an anniversary film. It's something unique and special that they did at the time in 1998 for the 20th anniversary of Halloween, and that's that. That's kind of how I look at it as. Like it's just like, yeah, we're just giving you guys something just for the fun of it. Nothing serious. It's not going to connect to this and that. And so there you go.
The funny thing is,
and then they ruin it with Resurrection.
It's true, but you bring up a good point, because the funny thing is, that's exactly what it was. Because Jamie Lee Curtis was like, "Hey, it's been 20 years. Maybe we should do something." Like that's where it came from.
It was kind of like, "Hey, fans, here you go. Here's something. Here's
100%. It is, and it is and it's just that was just supposed to be that.
It should have been a one-off. It 100%. Really should have. It should never have gone into But it really wasn't him.
But it was the ambulance driver.
Because the ambulance driver is not going to take the mask off while he's sitting in the back.
No.
Be like, hey, wait, I'm not him.
Yeah. At no point does he go,
He's going to keep the mask on.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Well, he was so confused. He had his larynx crushed. He was so confused. What was going on?
I have a mask on. The first thing I'm going to do is take it off, because if you have your larynx crushed and you're trying to talk, you're also going to have a hard time breathing.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But that's just basic science.
And Michael Myers got buck naked. He got buck naked.
Buck naked too. On top of that, right? He totally stripped in the school.
Full
on frontal and everything, and got into the
full on. His dick hanging out and everything, man. It was.
He wears boxer shorts. So,
no, he doesn't. He's Commando all the way. I think he's Commando. I mean, look at him. Look at him in the original.
He's like Joey in Friends, Commando.
100%. He's not wearing shit. He's not wearing shit. But yeah, I mean, the thing we can say about Scream is, and it's true, they have yet to, although we'll see what happens with 7, they have yet to have a Freddy's Dead. They've yet to have a Halloween Resurrection. Or
Jason Goes to Hell.
If if Scream 3 is the worst in the franchise, you're doing pretty good. Even if 5 or 6, if 5 or 6 is the worst, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, you know what I mean?
5 or 6, like I'm not knocking 5 or 6 just because I haven't watched it. It's just, there's no. I mean, there's certain Halloween movies that are not really appealing. Like I don't watch all the Halloween movies every year. It's my usual go-tos. Like on Halloween night this year.
Yeah, what did you watch this year?
The original. I timed everything, and then I barely made it to the finish line with Halloween 3. But I started at 5, and I timed it, and I got just to right before midnight. On Halloween night. She was my girlfriend was out of town. She was on a little trip with her friends. So I was chilling by myself, and I watched Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, and then Halloween 3. That's how I started it around like 5:30, and it got me just to about midnight. But I was also like so tired by the time I got to Halloween 3 that I barely made it to the finish line.
Yeah.
Like I was just so like my attention on the movie wasn't even there. And like, I was just dozing off and whatnot, but they're fun. They're, when Halloween rolls around, those are those are fun to watch. I did watch a lot of black and white horror movies.
Nice.
Stuff that, stuff that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
And then because I joined the Criterion channel. They had an app, and I'm also just, there was a really good fucking movie that I watched that was holy shit, just disturb. I can't even believe I didn't even know this movie existed.
What's it called?
And it's called Bug. It's got Michael Shannon in it, Ashley Judd.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's
That's
directed by William Friedkin, who did The Exorcist. That movie is ridiculously good and ridiculously insane.
I've never seen it, so I have to check it out.
Insane. Oh, it's right up your alley. Layers and
great.
Just all around really, really good. And it's because of Criterion.
Right.
I'm discovering a lot of really good movies beyond just the typical movies that we all talk about. I mean, there's so many movies out there. And that, because I think Bug wasn't even released in the States. I think it was released overseas.
Sure. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I have to double check that. But the point is that we get caught in this loop of, the same typical movies, and I watched Psycho. I watched it at the beginning of the month. So that's always, going to be in my rotation. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's just so many other movies out there. And I love the Criterion channel. It's I follow them on Instagram and I follow them on YouTube. Yeah. And I'm always listening to these actors and directors talk about different movies and writing down that might be a good watch, and look it up and look up the trailer and whatnot. But yeah, Bug was just one of those holy fuck. I'm glad I think it might be Michael Shannon's one of his early movies. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's his first movie, but early movies.
Right. Oh, he's great. He's fantastic.
Oh, he's there's anything he does, he's good in it.
But to your point, and I said this last week on my show too, but it bears repeating. And I haven't done this lately, but I have done it quite a bit. And I've recommended others to do it. Whether people actually do it or not, I don't know, because it is difficult trying to get people to do anything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Especially when it's out of your comfort zone. Because a lot of us, myself included, of course, I mean, I'm not, I'm immune to this. I'm still human, but it's a human thing to want to know what to expect and to be comfortable and all that kind of stuff. But there've been many times where I will go to Netflix or Prime or wherever, and I will find a movie. I will read the blurb, the little, 2-sentence blurb on what it's about. It's a movie I've never heard of. I may recognize an actor or two in it, but maybe not. Mm-hmm. And I'll read the blurb. And if I find it interesting, I'm like, oh, that sounds like that might be a cool, premise or interesting. I don't then look it up, because so many people will do that. They'll thumbnail surf, right? They'll find a movie maybe they haven't heard of, and the first thing they do is they look it up. They'll look it up. They'll go to Wikipedia. They'll go to IMDb. They'll watch a trailer. They'll go to Rotten Tomatoes. What's the Rotten Tomatoes score? Is it high? Blah, 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 blah. They'll know so much about it before even hitting play. And some of the fun stuff, the things, is just reading the blurb and just going, all right, play. You don't look it up. Nothing. You literally go in blind. Mm-hmm. And I've done that a couple of times, and there's been a few movies I've discovered where I'm like, and then you're also not influenced by Rotten Tomatoes or by, people online. Because there have been movies I've watched where I'm like, that was great. And then I look it up and it's got a 38 on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? I'm like, I thought it was great.
That happened to me recently here. I didn't even know this movie was out. Well, one, because I don't have Prime. Christina has Prime. Okay. And I am a massive, and I was as a kid. My room was wall to fucking wall with Michael Jordan posters.
Right.
Big Michael Jordan fan growing up as a kid in the 80s and 90s. And then I had my little corner of Florida State and New England Patriots stuff, but everything else, my dad used to joke around and said, my son should be Michael Jordan's kid. Cause that's what it would look like walking into. It was just everywhere. It was just and there's nothing that I really didn't know about his career and I always would follow things that he was doing. Well, I don't know how I missed this or just kind of flew under my radar, but I ended up watching at her house last weekend this movie called Air. It's got Matt Damon in it. It's got Ben Affleck in it.
Yes,
it's got Chris Tucker's in it. It's got Jason Bateman, and it's about how Nike
Air
won
Jordans.
Jordan to, you know, because at the time, like I knew the story that Jordan wanted to sign with Adidas, and I knew Converse was going to be, but a lot of the other stuff that I did not know, the behind the scenes and everything, what Nike was going through at that time, and the struggles that they were going through, and they weren't really known for their basketball shoes. And I mean, really, at the end of the day, he saved that company, Jordan. You know, when they created, so that's the same thing. I went into that movie not knowing a damn thing. Like I didn't know, is this a biopic on Jordan? It's like, what am I watching here? And then I kind of got it as it was going along. And my favorite thing, like, have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't, but I'm aware of it. I am aware of it. I have seen a trailer and all that.
The way they handled Jordan without spoiling it, without spoiling it to you, the way they handled Jordan in that movie, I thought was perfect. And it's kind of the way you approach, you meaning you now, the way you approach movies and the way you like layers and how, you know, subtle, you know, hints and subtleties and things like that. I thought that was like a very creative way with how they handled it, because they really kept the focus in on the importance of signing him, and family, because his mom was a big part of that. And I think Ben Affleck directed this, and I'm just like, man, I don't know how the fuck this movie got past me, but I like doing that. I like kind of discovering just by dumb luck. Like,
it's so great.
It was a great. If no one's seen Jordan, watch it, or not Jordan, Air. It's a really good movie.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I wish more people would do that. Unfortunately, because of social media, because of the way things are in people's lives, and especially in the fandom community, because there's so much we know. It's designed, our community, and I'm a part of this as well in terms of being part of the horror community. But the community as a whole is designed to let people know so much about something before something even comes out. And therefore, you know, I've often said there are so many movies that are probably fine, but they're never given their fair shake, because you and I excluded, because we don't do this, but there are so many channels that will rip and just rip into movies or studios before the movie even goes to camera. So you can spend 2 years watching somebody telling you that you're supposed to hate something, and then when it comes out, you're like, well, I guess I better go see it and hate it. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much influence now, whether it's pundits or reviewers or Rotten Tomatoes, you know, whatever the case is. And there's so, you know, we're so inundated that gone are the days when, you know, I've often said there were many times, you know, when we were kids, that we would just look at the newspaper, or we would just, like, say you and I knew each other as kids, and I was like, hey, Tony, you want to go see a movie? Yeah, let's go see a movie. We don't know what the fuck we're going to go see.
Right.
We would
What's
just
playing?
What's playing? We'd go down to the theater. We'd look at the marquee, and we go, oh, now maybe there's something there that we recognize. Oh, I saw that on TV, or I saw that, but maybe not. Oh, that's that new Harrison Ford movie, or that's that new, fuck it, let's just go see it. We don't know what the hell we're going to go see it. We have no idea. There's no Rotten Tomatoes.
It was just
we didn't
fun.
care. And there was nobody telling us, you shouldn't like this because Disney did this, and that doesn't mean that they're wrong about all the whatever, but we're not being inundated with that. We go and watch a movie purely, and then we actually are not influenced by the outside noise. And those days are gone, especially in the online fandom community. Too many people know so much about a movie before it even comes out. How could any movie really get a fair shake, if you think about it, right?
Not
I mean, a true fair shake.
Not in this day and age.
Not in this day and age. And so, and now that doesn't mean that bad movies are still not bad movies and good movies are still not good movies. A good movie will rise above the tide, of course, but
that's like, for example, the new, like, I stay away from any reviews or anyone talking about it. Is this is a guilty pleasure of mine. I love the first two, and I'm excited to see the third one, the Now You See Me movies. Now they're doing what you said they should have done in the second one.
Yes, it should have been Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Right. Now they're doing it, and I'm like, I love those movies, man. They're just fun movies. Like there's no bar. I'm not looking for the greatest movie ever made. I'm going in there to just be entertained. I like,
it's because we're middle-aged, Tony.
That's well, no, but I'm also trying to think like we used to when we were kids.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like I don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
And, I like the chemistry between the characters and the actors, between Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg.
Eisenberg, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I almost said James Franco. No, the other Franco, the kid.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the brother. I can't remember. Dave Franco.
Dave.
And I think the girl from the first one is coming back in this one. I don't think it's the girl in the sequel. And then, of course, Morgan Freeman will be in there. And they got this new young group of kids. So like that is a perfect example of what you're talking about. Like, I saw the trailer. I love those two movies. I enjoy watching them. I always watch them at some point in time during the year, sometimes even twice. Like I will watch it again because I don't take them serious. They're popcorn movies. I'm just here to have a good time and just be entertained. And I don't need it to be the most greatest script. I don't need it to be It's a Wonderful Life or, whatever, perfect movie. I want to be entertained. And to your point, that's what we did as kids. We would go, like you are right. Or we would call the movie theater and be like, okay, what's playing? And you hit the button for the show times and it goes through all the show times. Or we would go with our friends, like you said, to the theater, look at the marquee and go, well, all right, this looks good. Let's go see this. Let's go see whatever, Twister, Armageddon, or whatever the fuck it was, whatever was out at that time. Like we weren't really focused in on watching trailers, dissecting trailers. What does this mean? What's this going to happen? We were just like, oh yeah, I knew that was coming out. Let's go see it.
Yeah. Yes, you're 100% correct. And there are 3 movies that I always talk about. There's more, but these 3 I always come back to. These were movies that I was on, I think I watched them all on Netflix is where I saw them. I was on Netflix. I saw them. I read the blurb. I didn't look anything up. Nothing, like literally nothing. I just went, all right, play. And I hit play. I mean, maybe I went and got a snack or something and then sat down, whatever. And I just hit play. I had no idea what I was in for. And you have to be willing to take that risk because sometimes, and this has happened, I'll be 30 minutes into the movie or 20 minutes into the movie and I'm like, yeah, this isn't really working for me. You know what I mean? You have to be willing. And sometimes that happens, right? But the 3 movies that I was like, wow, those are really good. I was like, so glad was in no particular order. I always say this one, Incident in a Ghostland, blew my fucking mind. I was like, what the fuck is about these 2 girls and their mom, and it's a violent film, and they go to this house, and there's like a twist in there where I was like, wow! I was like, wow! I did not see that coming at all. And it's called Incident in a Ghostland. Violent, these 2 sisters, they're like 14, 15 years old, somewhere around there. They're with their mom. They go to this house, like their aunt's old house. And then these people come and they terrorize them. And the mother is killed. And anyways, it goes on from there. I won't say any more. But I'm watching this movie on the edge of my seat. I'm like, what the fuck? I go to Rotten Tomatoes. Like, what does it have on Rotten Tomatoes? Let me just see here.
2.
No. Incident in a Ghostland. It's a 2018 film. Rotten Tomatoes, it's got 50%. Okay, so half the people liked it. Well, hang on, that's the critics. What does the audience say? The audience says 61%. Okay, maybe it's because of me. No, but still, like, I was like, wow, I would give that, like, I don't know, 8 out of 10 or something. You know what I mean? The other one, which I was, and this does have a good score, I think, that I really loved. Again, just read the blurb. Never heard of it. No, I don't know. Just play. Let's just watch it. You're watching it blind? Yep. So you didn't see a trailer. You didn't read about it. Nope. There we go. Is The Ritual. Ow! Mm-hmm. Ow! Oh, I love that movie. I'm like, this is slow burn, psychological, in the woods, the fucking shit, and what the hell's going on? They get to the end and that crazy monster with the fire and shit. I'm like, it was great. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, no idea. That's how I discovered that. And then the other one I discovered was a 2013 film, little indie film called Coherence. I don't know if anybody in the chat room has ever seen Coherence. I believe they're making a sequel to it, but that fucks you up too. That's like almost like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Doppelgangers, and like it's about these group of people.
Get ready for me to blow your mind.
Have you seen the movie?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, and this is hand to God.
Yeah.
I've only seen the ending clip on YouTube. I have never seen Invasions of the Body Snatchers. Ever.
Oh, so you've only seen the
I've only seen that part.
Yeah. Oh, Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I've tried to watch it a few times, and every time that I've tried to start watching it, I always seem to get like interrupted. And I stop, and then I never go back to watching it. It's not that I don't want to watch it. It's just like, it's one of those movies that there's just some movies that kind of get past me. You know, it is never had a chance to watch. You know,
it's one of my favorites of all time. It's one of the greatest remakes of all time because the '78 version is a remake, and it's one of the great remakes, of course. And it is, it's eerie and creepy. Leonard Nimoy, Jeff Goldblum, Brooke Adams, of course, Donald Sutherland. Such a great film. And the ending, the ending, so I don't have to spoil it, but the ending, that is the ending. And when it zooms up into his mouth, it literally, it cuts to black, quote unquote, right? Because it goes all black. The credits roll literally to silence. There is no music. No score, no soundscape, no sound effects. It is literally just a black screen with white text scrolling. Brilliant! Especially after that moment where you're like, oh, fuck, no! No, not him! Silence. There wouldn't be a fucking, well, maybe there would be. I don't know. It depends on the movie, depends on the studio. Maybe A24 would have the balls to do it, but studios don't have the balls to do that anymore. We got to have a fucking song playing here. It's like, no, sometimes. Listen, the Blair Witch Project. It wasn't silent, but it was just this weird sound. It was just
ambient, almost like an ambient sound.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. But anyways, Coherence, Incident in a Ghostland, and The Ritual were three movies I had never heard of. Never heard of. I don't know how I didn't hear of The Ritual, because that was a little more, but I don't know. And I discovered it. It doesn't always work. Sometimes, like I said, you're 10 minutes into the movie and you're like, yeah, and that right there. Sometimes it happens, but sometimes you find gems. And what's great about The Feeling is that you weren't influenced by anybody. Nobody told you to watch it. Nobody told you to not watch it. Nobody told you, oh shit, man. You didn't know nothing. And then you walk away and you feel good. And if anybody ever says Incident in a Ghostland, that was fucking dumb, man. You can be like, well, I liked it because it's true. It's true. It's true to you.
That's kind of like the movie that's out right now. I mean, it's not getting bad. In fact, it's got a 97 audience review on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think it's somewhere in the 60s. Is the new critics 60%, somewhere in there, is the new Sydney Sweeting movie.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
but it's getting bashed because it didn't open well at the box office. Well, first of all, movies are not opening up, well at the box office these days anyways. That doesn't necessarily, especially like you ever look at like any like Academy Award nominated movies, they don't really like rake in the big dollars at the box office.
No, they're dramas. They're dramas.
Right. And should they have just done, a Paramount Plus release or a Peacock release? Maybe. But just because it doesn't rake in big money doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
I think they released it in theaters because they probably see potential Oscar contender, and in order for something to be Academy Award worthy, Academy Award, you have to release in the theaters in certain markets for a certain period of time. And so,
and I get that, but like the people bash. Like, first of all, are you bashing her, or are you still pissed off at the American Eagle ad? You know what I mean? Like no, for real. Like what? Like
so stupid.
You know what I mean? Stupid. Is it real? Like, because the audience seems to really like it. It's got a 97, Rotten Tomato review.
Well, I hear she's spectacular in it.
And it's got a 60%, critics rating. So I'm like, just because the movie didn't do great in the theater doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Listen, I think it's a lot of saltiness because people are still pissed off at her because she's got great genes.
And she does, but you're probably right.
I love those American Eagle jeans. That's what I wear. Not those, but like
not those. Oh, Tony!
I pretty much I own like 12 pairs of black jeans, and I have like one pair of regular denim jeans.
I have some American Eagle jeans too. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. So I knew Sydney. Look, Sydney Sweeney sprung onto the scene. Let's just call it for what it is. Boobage. We get it. She's very attractive, and she's got it up there. That doesn't mean that she's better than anybody else or whatever the case is. But in Hollywood, especially for women, I'm not saying it should be this way. It's unfortunate it's this way. But the more traditionally attractive you are, obviously, that's the nature of the business. It's always been that way. But the thing that has impressed me about Sydney Sweeney, and I'm not saying she's a thespian, like she's, she's Daniel Day-Lewis, but what has impressed me about her is that when I first started watching her in movies, I watched all the movies, everybody, the one where her tits are out everywhere, whatever the case is.
Never seen it. I've never seen a movie. I've never seen any movies that I only caught wind of her is because of the whole American Eagle controversy.
Oh, right.
And then when I watched the ad, I'm like, God, we've become so stupid in society that we just complain about anything.
No, we have. But the point I'm making is that, so I saw, okay, it's fine. But the one movie that impressed me, not Academy Award winning, level, but I was like, because she's always, at some point in every one of her movies, it feels like she's getting boobs out, right? And I'm like, but this movie she didn't. And it was a movie that impressed me. It's a horror movie. It's called Immaculate. And that movie, she shows some acting chops in that movie, especially
It's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie called Immaculate. I think you would like it, especially towards the end of the film. She shows some, I watching that movie, I was like,
range.
Yeah, watching that movie, I was like, not only did I like the movie, like even if she wasn't in it and was somebody else, I was like, okay, Sydney, all right. I'm not surprised that she's done this movie based on this boxer. A lot of the times actors, she's not stupid. Her management team isn't stupid. They know she's got the, right? Okay. And they know that so far up to this point, she's been a little Marilyn Monroe-ized, right? She's a little bit of that sex symbol, sex. And she's got, hey, you got it. Hey, what are you going to do, right? But she wants to do other things. And so I'm not surprised that she did this film. Yeah, 100%. Because this shows her range. I hear she's fantastic in it. And I haven't seen it yet, so I can't speak for it myself. But it wouldn't surprise a lot of actors that when they get stuck into a certain box or typecast in a certain box, they start looking for other projects that can sort of open it up a little bit, like The Rock with the slashing machine.
Transformation he did with that. That was insane.
It happens, and so that doesn't mean that Sydney will stop doing a sexy movie. No, but it means that she's capable of more than just that. And it will help for her to stay relevant, especially as a woman, because looks fade. Looks fade with men too, but I'm just saying in that industry, the young,
I mean, I definitely,
and so
I definitely see the appeal, why people, I don't know. If she's watching, she's going to be like, I knew he was going to say that. I tend to like, and I'm not saying Sydney Sweeney's not a pretty woman, but like, if I were to me, I look at a woman like Rebecca Ferguson, who is in Dr. Sleep, or
she is. Oh, she's beautiful. Rebecca Ferguson's beautiful.
She's just, there's a classiness to her beauty, elegant. Right. She's a woman, and she's my favorite, opposite to Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible series. And if I ever meet Tom, I'm going to be like, bro, why? With her character.
Yes.
Have you seen the last two?
I have not.
Okay, so I don't want to spoil it for you.
Well, I kind of figure.
Yeah, well,
that's
I
fine.
was not happy.
It's fine. It's fine. It's all good.
Not
it's
happy.
All good. Yeah.
The creative decisions they did with her, because to me, I felt she complemented Ethan's character very well in that. And like I said, I like her as an actress, and she's a really, really good actress. I don't get too hyped up for actresses like that, but I agree with what you're saying on this.
Yeah, I'm speaking generally, right?
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
To me, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, like, if I'm gonna watch a leading lady in a movie, like that, it'd be someone like Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, for
sure. She's
no,
awesome
she's
in Dr. Sleep. It's going to be cool to talk about that here with Nick when we get a chance. And whatnot.
Yes.
So, and Rachel McAdams is another one. Like I like Rachel McAdams.
Oh, did you see the Rachel McAdams new trailer directed by Sam Raimi? What was it called?
I feel like I have.
What is it called now? Stop It or Stop or the chat room will let me know.
I think I did see that as a matter of fact because
it looked good. It looked fun.
Yeah, it was funny because I was like, man, I was thinking about it. I was like, she's been quiet. Lately, like
good Canadian gal, by the way.
Yeah,
she's from London, Ontario, which is not too far away from me.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I like her in The Notebook. Notebook's a really good
Notebook's
movie.
A great film. Great film.
One of my favorite movies though that I like McAdams in is probably Spotlight, and that's an ensemble with
that's
Ruffalo
a great film
and Michael Keaton and I forget the other guy that's there with them, but that's a really really good movie. So like I had my
great in Red Eye too.
Red Eye. Oh, I just watched that. Because that was on Netflix.
Yeah.
I just watched that with Cillian Murphy.
Yes.
That's really,
Wes Craven.
really, really good movie.
2005,
that was like, that was one of those movies that just got past me, and I kept seeing it pop up in my recommendations on Netflix. I'm like, oh, it's got Cillian. Cillian's a good actor. Can't go wrong with him. And it's got, her in it. So I'm like, well, all right, let's go.
It's 20 years old this year. I think that's the movie she did right after The Notebook, because The Notebook was 2004, I believe. And Red Eye was, I think, 2005. So you go from a love story to a horror movie. I mean, it's great. Or a thriller, I guess,
So those would probably be like, if I had to say like two leading lady actresses, not counting horror, right? We're not talking like Neve Campbell, Scream, and all that stuff. Like just in general, like an actress that I would be drawn to sit down and watch a movie anytime would probably be Rachel McAdams and Rebecca Ferguson.
For sure.
Those are my two actresses.
For sure.
But I get the appeal and why, people are, drawn. Obviously, I'm not stupid.
She's a beautiful woman, but I think but to your point, I think I'm speaking generally in terms of just the, purely on the sex appeal, right? The stereotypical, traditional, that Marilyn Monroe kind of thing, right? Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's but she's very good in Immaculate, and I hear she's tremendous in whatever the boxing film is.
I think it's called Christy, right?
Or Christy, like yeah. I'd never heard of this boxer. I don't know why. But I hear she's great.
Yeah, same. Never heard of her either.
No. And so, but that's why actors will do that. They will often look for projects. Okay, I don't want to just be the boob girl. I want to really show that I'm.
Well, I think Margot Robbie pretty much after she got naked in Wolf of Wall Street, she's done nothing. She's done because she wanted to be taken seriously.
Right.
And I think that was the last time, I get it. Look, like you don't want to be just known for that, right? You want people to take you serious and serious as an actress.
Exactly.
And exactly. So I get it.
No, 100%. It's, but yeah, I think more people need to, they won't because of just the culture, but I think more people need to just look for movies they've never heard of, read the little blurb, and if it really does sound interesting, take a chance on it, because
100%.
Discovering movies is so amazing. It
really, really is, because like I said, that's one of the reasons why I subscribe to the Criterion Channel app and have access to all these movies now. Yeah. There's another one that I am going to watch here very soon, because it was recommended by an actor on an episode. You know how they go in the closet and pull movies and stuff?
Yes. I've seen that. Yeah.
So I see, I have that on my YouTube, and there was one here. It was probably like a month ago, and they were talking about, oh man, what the hell is the name of this movie? I'm drawing a blank. It's got River Phoenix in it, and it's got the woman from The Conjuring who plays the mother who gets possessed in the first film.
River Phoenix?
Yes, River Phoenix is in this. And it's directed by, I know the lady's name, and I'm drawing a blank on her. I'm drawing a blank on everything.
The one who plays the mother in The Conjuring?
She's very young. And obviously this is early 90s. Right. And it's set in the 50s. I think it's the 50s or 60s. It looks really, really good.
The horror film, or what is it?
No, it's kind of like a love story, but like, at least that's what I'm taking from it.
Is it? But it,
more, of a, more, of a, more 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 of a No, that's with Keanu.
The Thing Called Love?
eh,
I'm just looking at, this is the first things that popped up in the early 90s. Let's see here.
Someone in the chat room, bail me out here. I'm drawing a blank. I'm
So
like,
early
my brain's
90s.
on fire right now.
We're looking at I Love You to Death, Dogfight.
Dogfight. That's it.
Dogfight?
Dogfight. Yes. Dogfight. Don't knock it by the title. So Lily Taylor, that's her name. She's the mother. She plays the mom in the first Conjuring.
She does, yes.
Yes. And it's directed by Nancy Savoca. I don't know if you know who she is. She's done some stuff. Yeah. She's done quite a few movies, actually. She did Dogfight. She did, I'm trying to think movies you might know.
I can see it here. Yep.
Yeah. So Dogfight. And anyways, it's set in the period of I want to say in the 60s, in and around the Vietnam War. And it's kind of a fucked up story. The synopsis is based, because they do talk about the synopsis, and it's in the trailer. So the synopsis is these soldier boys, they take these girls to like a dance, and the guys are ranking them as the ugliest. Right. Okay. Which one is the ugliest and whatnot. Right. She catches on to it, and like gets really hurt by it. But he ends up kind of like falling for her. So he's like kind of like, trying to, win her back, through just doing something completely horrible to her and embarrassing her. Yeah. So I went to Criterion, saw that it's on there, and then I watched the interview of Lily Taylor and the director talk about it and talk about their experience with working with River Phoenix and whatnot. And again, River Phoenix, right? It's like we think we know all his movies, right? Like Idaho with Keanu Reeves, Stand By Me, Indy, Indiana Jones and whatnot. And then here's this movie. I'm like, I didn't even fucking heard of it.
The Mosquito Coast with Harrison Ford.
Right. That's so like, I love discovering new movies like that. And so now it's on my, like, I'm going to hopefully get to it sometime this month, and watch it. And you're 100% right. I think there's so many great movies out there that we don't know, that we all get caught in this bubble of the Halloweens and the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. And I'm like, bro, there's a whole universe of movies out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like there's so many movies out there. Like I wish I could do what Tom Cruise does and watch a movie every day. Cause he does. He watches a movie every day. And I would love that. Yeah. I would love to have that kind of freedom.
I watch a movie every day, man. Yeah, that's what I do, man. I love movies.
Love movies, and if I did that, like I would watch shit that I never heard of. I would specifically go on Criterion and just be like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you're
right.
And just, all right. And like you said, not every movie's going to be a banger. There's going to be movies where you're going to be like 20 minutes in, like, all right, well, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, it happens. It's happened. I forget what movie it was, but I started watching one where I was like, But there's another one I watched too. There was one called, and it doesn't have a good score. I didn't like it as much as I liked the three that I mentioned: Incident in a Ghostland, The Ritual, and Coherence. But I thought, that was kind of good. I kind of like that. It was with Katie Seagal, what's his face's wife.
Not to be confused with Steven Seagal.
And not to be confused with the Seagal from Married with Children. Right. But what's his face? Horror director. Why am I blanking? He directed Dr. Sleep. Why am I blanking on this?
I forget his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Fuck. Why am I blanking?
Are you kidding me? I kept forgetting.
I don't know why I forget his name. Chat room will come up with it. Don't you hate that? It's middle age. Anyway,
like all week this week, I'm like, fuck, yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's all I kept calling him. I'm like, Ewan McGregor. Like, no, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. He's. I know his name. I'm just brain farting. It's whatever. Anyway, so a movie that she's in. He didn't direct it or anything like that. Mike Flanagan. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. A movie that she's in called, I think, Hypnotic or Hypnosis or something or rather, whatever it was.
I feel like I've heard that.
Yeah, and I saw it on Netflix. I recognized her. Again, like it's okay if you recognize the actors. You just have to have never heard of the movie, or know like like, you're like, oh, I think maybe I don't, and never seen anything about it. So it is truly like, just like, you want to go to the movies? And I watched it and I was like, oh, it was actually pretty good. There was another one I watched too that I really liked. It was a girl who was blind and she woke up, she was kidnapped, but she's blind and she's got to figure out how to get out of, like, she's in like some build, but she's blind and she's got to figure out how to get out. She's been kidnapped, whatever.
Yes,
it was good
I feel
too.
like I've seen that movie and I know what you're talking about.
It was good too. And it was one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know what this movie is, but that premise kind of sounds cool. Play. And that's it. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I've watched so many movies to varying degrees of, oh, that was really good. Again, the three that I mentioned, I'm like, oh, that was really good. And every now and then you'll find one you're like, wow, that was really good. And nobody, and then I think more people, and this goes for me too, goes for everybody. I think more people, if we were not influenced by the noise, I think there would be, we would like more. I'm not saying we'd like bad movies. I'm just saying that we would like movies more than I think most people do. Those who say, there's no good movies anymore. That's not true.
Well, no, that's not true. There's truth to that. The less that I spend on social media, which is very almost, I mean, other than Instagram, and I don't really spend much in the movie. Like, I didn't even know this until Christina told me about this, that they actually fucking remade The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Yeah, they did.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why? Like, what is there to fucking, that's like one of the most, like, it's a perfect movie.
It's that transition between, it's the early 90s and it's that nice transition between, this feels kind of like an 80s movie, but also
early 90s,
but also an early 90s TV movie, but in the best way possible. Best way possible. It's Rebecca
a
great film.
Peyton.
It's a great movie.
Ernie Hudson.
Yes.
I mean, just that cast is a great cast. And like, I had no fucking clue because I don't, like you said, I really silence the noise now and I don't pay attention to all that, what's going out there. But that also, like, I get surprised with like, oh, they're remaking Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Really?
Yes.
Like, why? But like, is it good? Like, did you watch it?
No, I haven't. I haven't watched it.
Okay.
I haven't watched it. But it was
like remaking Sleeping with the Enemy. You just don't remake that.
Sleeping with the Enemy is, again, that's another one. There were 3 movies from the early 90s that make me feel like they're kind of like 80. They feel kind of like 80s movies, but they're early 90s films, and they kind of feel like TV movies, but in the best way possible. And they are Sleeping with the Enemy, fantastic movie with Julia
Great
Roberts. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and there's another one that most people don't. I don't know if most people haven't seen this one, but I really liked it. It's Bob Hoskins is in it. Good old Bob Hoskins from Who Framed Roger Rabbit and whatever. Yeah, Hook. Mermaids with
Mermaids is great.
Such a great film.
That's with Cher and
Winona Ryder and Christina Ricci.
Yep.
And so, but this is like 91. It's called Shattered.
Okay.
And it's about, it's essentially, hang on, Shattered. 1991. Yeah, it stars Tom Berenger. Berenger. He was like, if you're our age, our mothers were like in love with Tom Berenger in like the 80s, 90s. Him, Tom Selleck, all these guys, right? Yeah. Tom Berenger, Bob Hoskins, Greta Scacchi, I think. Anyways, great cast. It is basically Dan Merrick and his wife Judith have a car accident. Judith is thrown free, but Dan is injured, his face disfigured. He comes out of a coma with amnesia, full of general knowledge, but completely ignorant of his own family life. Slowly, he begins to put the pieces back together, but there are troubling memories that don't mesh with the stories he's being told. And he hires private detective Gus Klein, Bob Hoskins, to help unravel the mystery of his past. Let's just say things are not what they appear to be. And again, one of those early 90s thrillers, right? And I loved it. There's a little bit of a twist in there where you're like, fucking didn't see that coming. Really cool.
I think it was more like mid 90s when this came out. Criterion Channel. I This was in one of those other movies that got past me. I finally watched Natural Born Killers.
Ah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Interesting. I wasn't not necessarily disappointed in the movie. I just think this because the movie was so hyped up and everybody talked about how much they loved it, how much they loved it, how much they loved it, that when I finished watching it, I was just like, eh.
Yeah, see, well,
Like
that's
I
a
didn't
bit
hate
different.
it.
That's a bit
I
different
didn't
because you know a
hate
lot
it.
about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. It's like it's not like I hated Natural Born
Yeah.
Killers. I just was like,
Gotcha.
I don't see the hype.
I'd be
You know what I
very
mean?
curious to know if you had never heard of that movie and then you watched it.
No, I
right?
heard of it. It was just
No, I
like
know that.
and I've seen it talked to, everyone.
And that's
talked
the
about it
problem.
to
That's the
death.
problem, right? Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just one of those like, oh, it's one of my favorite Woody Harrelson movies. Actually, I mean, like if I were to pick, like that wouldn't even be in my top 10 Woody Harrelson
Right.
movies.
Well, see, that's my point. And I'm not a huge fan of it, but yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, imagine though if you had never heard of it, I wonder what you would have thought of it. You know what I mean? You're like,
I probably would have. It would have been. I would definitely had a different. Like, I love the created visuals. I love going back between color and black and white.
Yeah, yeah.
The editing style. I didn't realize it was Oliver Stone, so I was just like, "Well, this is definitely well." Because usually I can pick up on Oliver Stone type movies, and this was certainly not like it's certainly not JFK, right?
Right. Yeah,
Although in JFK, he did some creative editing in there as well too. But certainly with Natural Born Killers, all I kept thinking was like, bro, was he tripping on acid when he made this movie? I mean, for real, because it does seem like it's a trippy movie. Actually, it's funny. Someone said Seven, or Nikki K. I watched Seven in October. That was one of the
Seven's
thrillers.
great.
That
One of the great
That's
classics.
just, I mean, like,
still one of the. I had a chance to see it in the theater, and I didn't.
It's the best ending to a movie. I'm glad
chose
you
Halloween
don't see
6.
it. Yeah, right.
I did.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
fuck.
We're thinking we're seeing the greatest Halloween ever. No,
yeah, Halloween
6
is
right there.
I know. Shit.
Like
somebody.
I think the ending to 7 is one of the best movies. Like, I think you don't reveal too much.
Fantastic.
I think some people debate whether or not Pitt's character should have killed Spacey or not. I absolutely, I think that's, everything is the way that movie is done. You don't change a thing. You don't alter it. In any way. I forget who is that. Fincher that directed that?
It was.
Or am I thinking?
No, it was. It was David Fincher.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he did a run with Fincher, a good like Pitt.
Fincher. Oh yeah, but Fincher had a great run. He had Seven. He had Fight Club. He had The Game. Right. The Game.
Did he do Snatch?
Panic Room. No, that was that wasn't him. That was what's his face?
I can't remember who did Snatch.
Fuck. I hate getting old.
I thought that was Fincher. It's not Fincher?
No, it's not.
I know he did The Game. You said The Game.
It's Guy Ritchie.
That's with Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
That's right. Snatch. Right, because that's right. Guy Ritchie has a very distinct editing style. Like if you watch Sherlock Holmes and you watch Snatch, it's like you're watching the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
Right. The Game. You mentioned The Game with
great.
Richard Gere and
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. I'm sorry, Michael Douglas and Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, right? No. That's no.
Oh, that's I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Talented Mr. Ripley.
No, you're thinking of A Perfect Murder.
No. The reason why I'm thinking of Talented Mr. Ripley because I just watched that for the first time.
Gotcha.
I just watched that. It was on Paramount Plus,
great film.
And I was thinking of her and oh my God, I almost said Ewan McGregor. It's not
Matt Damon.
Well, yeah, I know Matt Damon, but the other guy, Jude Law.
Oh, yes, yeah. No, it was so the Game was 1997, and that was Michael Douglas. But Michael Douglas was in a movie called A Perfect Murder,
right? But
in 1998 with Gwyneth Paltrow and Viggo Mortensen, based on the Hitchcock film, which was based on the play called Dial M for Murder. And,
but who was the leading actress in The Game with Douglas?
Oh, that was, I always think back then she kind of looked like and I say that because she's cute, but she kind of looks like a.
But Douglas and Paltrow did do a movie together. Okay.
It was Deborah Kara Unger. Deborah Kara Unger is her name.
So I'm probably thinking the movie that I'm thinking that I watched then is the movie with Michael Douglas and Gwyneth Paltrow.
I always think
so. They did do a movie together.
Yes, it was called A Perfect Murder. And that's a great film. 1998.
Because she fakes her murder in that, right?
Yeah, well, she finds out that her
He's
husband,
gonna kill her.
Her husband has hired somebody to kill her. And
right.
so
she fakes it.
No. She's alive. She thwarts the murder. And it didn't go as planned. And she actually ends up killing the guy that came to murder her. And now,
right.
And now Michael Douglas comes home and is like, "Fuck," right? Like, shit. Oh, it's such a good movie. Such a good movie. One of my favorites.
Mr. Ripley was good. I was surprised how much Matt Damon definitely played a creeper really good. And again, one of those movies that got by me. Didn't see that coming with Jude Law.
No,
I did not see that coming at all. Because you kind of expect, like, if that's going to happen, that's going to kind of happen early on. But it almost feels like there's two movies, right? Because you got the whole one movie with him and Jude Law, and then you got this whole entire second movie of him pretending to be, and very good.
The great thing about A Perfect Murder, if I could just come back to that for a second, the great thing about that is, so you have Michael Douglas and Gwyneth Paltrow play a husband and wife. He's a rich guy, and she's cheating on him with Viggo Mortensen's character.
Okay.
And so the thing I love about this dynamic is, it's like, well, like both of these characters are in the wrong. But you look at this and you go, well, she shouldn't be cheating on him. She should leave him, right? I mean, that's wrong. But at the same time, that doesn't warrant her being murdered for it. I mean, it's immoral. It's not illegal, right? So you have these two characters that are, it's a fascinating dynamic to watch. You know what I mean? And
sounds very similar to
such a good movie.
Another great movie, Unfaithful, with Diane Lane.
Yes,
and Richard Gere.
Oh, that's a good
movie.
Oh, Diane Lane is stunning.
Movies about cheating are really good.
She's still stunning. Diane Lane is still stunning. She is absolutely
very classy,
gorgeous. Oh,
very classy woman. Yeah,
she is aged like, I don't drink wine, but as they say, like fine wine, I guess is what they say. She's absolutely beautiful.
Ageless.
She's stunning. She's stunning, and that's a good movie. Yes, that's a great film. But there's so many like. Again, now the films that we just talked about here, obviously we didn't see them through that means, but I do think if you have a chance, whether it's Apple, whether it's Hulu, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Prime, whether it's whatever, I mean, there's so many services now. Find a movie you've never heard of, and the blurb about the movie really catches you. You're like, oh, that sounds like it might be interesting. And you just hit play. I mean, that's how I found The Society. And it was one season. I'm not the target demographic necessarily. They did one season. It was canceled because of COVID. I was so disappointed. But it was like Lord of the Flies meets not Stranger Things, but meets Stand By Me almost. It was like a weird, it had a supernatural element to it, and it was like 5 or 6 episodes. It was so good. The acting was phenomenal. That's where I first saw What's-Her-Face, who ended up doing Freaky and the girl, I forget her name now, but she's fantastic. The whole cast is fantastic. It ends on this really, it's like a Pied Piper sort of thing, you know? These kids leave this town, they go on this field trip, there's a storm, they have to turn around, and when they come back, everybody's gone. All the adults are gone. When I say kids, they're not like little kids, they're like, teenagers, right? And they're all gone. And it was such a compelling show. And it had a mystery and intrigue and what's going to happen. What do we do? And they can't leave the town. They try to leave the town, but they can't because it's like there's like walls of forests or something. It's like, what's going on? Where are we? What's happening? Such a good show, and then it ends on like this really big, what does this all mean? Bigger picture thing. Never made another episode because it was canceled. I'm like, fuck! No. But I discovered that simply, and you can do this with shows too, right? You don't have to do it just as a movie. You can do it with shows. I discovered it by just seeing the show called The Society, and I read the 2-sentence blurb. I don't know what the fuck this is. Play. I was hooked. Sometimes it's great to discover things like that. You know what I mean? It's very cool. Yeah. It's very cool indeed. But should we jump over to the chat here and see?
Let's do it. Yeah, because I got to get going here.
All right. Let's There's a couple of some super chats that came in. Let me quickly get these. We've got Nick Jenny becomes a member, level number 2. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. Yes, this was supposed to be a Dr. Sleep episode today, folks, but our guest, Nick Jenny, was having some technical issues, so we are going to reschedule
We're going to
that.
hold off, and we're going to talk about Rebecca Ferguson another night.
That's right. That's right. Eddie Chase sends in a very generous super chat of $19.99. Thank you, Eddie, and says, beef with Scream. None are bad, but they've become too formulaic. I think there's truth to that. Awesome opening scene. GF looks brutal. Girlfriend Ghostface. I said girlfriend looks brutal. Ghostface looks brutal. Thank you. Good kills, but no one important. Nice whodunit, but the killer reveal does all the Hamlet monologue and forgets how to kill. Well, that is Scream. That's why I think it should end on a cliffhanger.
Yep.
Eddie follows up and says, lastly, can Gail and twins finally die and someone important raise the stakes? It's Final Girl, not Final Peoples. Ooh, there you go. Well, Dewey did die.
I'm going to raise the stakes even higher. I would not, at this point, 7 movies in, I wouldn't object to Sydney being killed off.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't. At this point, like if you really want to shock the audience, right? If you really, because you almost just expect her to live. And I almost feel like she's got this clause in her contract that I will not die.
Could be.
I mean, at this point, like I'm just feeling like that's where we're at, you know, but like if you really want to go like to get people talking, right? To at least talk about it and go, they fucking did it. They fucking and I mean, when I say kill her, I mean like, Dewey killed her.
Yeah,
like, there's no fucking coming back from it.
Not like Marvel death.
Right, not like Marvel death where it's like, right? No, like I want like let's go. Like I'm kind of at the point with her character like I am with Laurie Strode. Let's kill the bitch.
Yeah, that's it.
And I say that politely.
Exactly.
In a harsh way.
Exactly. It's one of those things where what was I going to say? It's I think it should be done. If they were going to do it, I think it should be done in a way that is, I don't know how you would do this, but imagine if you didn't know. Imagine they're making Scream 8. Okay. Sydney's in it. Okay. But you don't know. You know anything about the story. Maybe you think you do, whatever. You watch the trailers. You see Sydney in it, but they cut around it very carefully. You watch the movie, and Sydney is the opening death. Oh, the opening kill. What? You want to know why they're not going to do it? Because they don't.
So someone in the chat is saying that she does have a clause. Is that for real, or is that like...
Well, I mean, you have to
is that social media truth?
It could be social media truth. You need to provide evidence. I'm not saying it's wrong. It could be true. It could be true. But yeah, I would say that, look, I'm not against her dying. Will she die? Probably not, because whether she has a clause or not, the studio doesn't want to piss anybody off.
Well,
alienate the fans.
But really, though, would it? It's like you've got...
Hey, she wasn't in Scream 6, and that did well at the box office.
Right. So you've got 5 other movies, because I keep forgetting she's sort of in Scream 6 briefly, right?
No, she's not in 6 at all. She's in 5. She's nowhere in 6
at all. Are you sure?
Positive. Yeah, she's nowhere in 6. And I've only seen the movie once. Yeah, same. Yeah.
Fuck. Why am I thinking she's like on the phone, like on a phone call with Gail?
Oh, that's
she's running.
That's 5. She's that's 5. She's out on by like a pier with a stroller.
Oh, wow.
That's 5, yeah.
Well, okay.
There you go. There you go.
Damn.
Yep.
It's tough getting old, man. It's when you're almost 50.
I know.
Like I'm confusing movies.
Yeah. That's it.
All right.
But that would be interesting. Let's see here. Dr. Corn Dogs. I like that. Predator is a good, jolly guy in the new Badlands movie. I think Stu will be a good guy in Scream 7. He will help Sydney like Hannibal helps Clarice. That's interesting. Interesting take. Josh McKenna, thank you, Josh, says, have you guys seen K-pop Demon Hunters? No clue what that is, but I hear people talking about it.
First time I'm even never hearing about it.
Never heard
of it. No.
Sounds like something I would not watch.
Same.
Simon Mills.
Wait, isn't K-pop, isn't that like a boy band?
Maybe. It sounds like it could be, or a boy band from
I'm serious.
South Korea.
That's what I mean. Aren't they like a boy band? Isn't that, or isn't that like the style of music or something? What it is?
Maybe,
or
maybe it's a style of music.
Something like, I thought it was like a boy band, or like like the style of. I'm so
I have
like,
no idea.
I don't listen to much modern music except for the occasional country song, but my music is stuck in the 80s, 90s, and the 70s, and
right?
Some of our parents' shit from the 50s and 60s. So
that's it.
But I could have sworn like K-pop was like a band or like a style of music or some shit.
It could be. It could be. I have no interest. It's not for me. Simon Mills sends in a member chat, says, hey, Dave, the killers in Scream 5 should have been 40-plus-year-old YouTubers who wanted to make their own one after the rubbish stab movies in that universe. It would make sense. I vote Dave and Frank.
I'm confused.
You vote I don't remember Scream 5 as well as you do, Simon, so I will take your word for. I don't even remember who the killers were. In Scream 5. Oh, it was Mikey Madison. I remember that. Yes, she was one of them because and it was Barrera's boyfriend. That just came to me. But Dave and Frank, you mean me and Frank Riker? I think that's who you're talking about, because Frank's not a big fan of
so Alec, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce your name, bro, said that
Alex Shambach.
Yeah, she said that it would send the wrong message if Sydney were to die. I mean, like, but
I disagree with that.
I disagree with that too, because like, what's the other message? Predictability, that she's gonna always live. Like, well, where's the where's the risk?
Right.
Like, if you know she's going to live, it's like, well, all right, well, if I know she's going to live, then I'll just wait to see it when it comes to streaming, and I won't spend the money at the theater if I know her character. But if she died, then I might go, okay, I'm going to rush to see the freaking theater to see what the hell happened.
And as I've said many, many, many times, it's not that these characters die, it's how they die. Does it serve the story? Yeah, of course, we don't want her to just die like off screen, or so she
right. I don't want like a Rachel from Halloween 5 where the character got like totally disserviced. Like, no,
exactly. No, exactly. It's does she sacrifice herself to save her children? Does she sacrifice herself to save Gail? Is she, it's all in the writing. It's all in the writing.
Why did I lost your audio, bro?
Oh, hello. Test.
All right, there you are. What were you saying? Your audio just went totally silent.
Oh.
So what were you saying?
No, I was saying that it's all in the writing, right? And it's not, would she, maybe she sacrifices herself to save her children, or sacrifices herself to save Gail, or, whatever the case is, it's all in the writing. It depends what she means. I mean, there's so much, it would send the wrong message. What do you mean by that? It would send the wrong message. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. Do you mean it would send the wrong message as in, from a studio business perspective, like we don't need you, we're moving forward? Do you mean within the narrative? Do you mean
like a female like,
men killing
female,
right? Like
I'm not gonna die,
right? So what do you mean? I mean, it all depends, because at the same time, if we're looking at it from a story perspective, realistically, would this woman continue to fight these battles? Now, it works in Scream 7 because her children are at stake. But there's only so many things that would lure her back in. If Sydney is living across the country and there's a Ghostface shit thing happening, in Toronto, let's say it's happening here in Toronto, you know what I'm saying? Or we'll keep it in the States. It's happening in Boston, let's say. Okay, great. If that shit that's going down in Boston has nothing to do with her family, her children, there isn't Gail or Dewey luring her back in. It's nothing. Why would she get involved? You wouldn't. You'd be, because it has nothing. So they have to keep thinking of reasons for her character to justify her character. The child is a good one. It's been done before, but it's a good one. It works. It's not original, but it works, and that's why they're doing it. And so, but again, now you have that in here. You also potentially have Stu in here as actually alive. We don't know if he actually is, but let's say he is. This Scream 7 feels like it's like, the end game of Scream. I mean, where else do you go after this? Do you know what I mean? So it kind of like the ultimate Ghostface would be Stu coming back. Well, you might get that in this one because we don't know how he's going to be used yet, but you might get that here. Let's say you do. Every Ghostface after this movie's downhill from here. I mean, how else? I mean, where do you go? You know what I mean? Unless Sydney becomes Ghostface, or and you certainly don't want to pull. And I Know What You Did Last Summer. Do you want to know why they did that? And I Know What You Did Last Summer. The remake is because of this whole shit thing, right?
What? Jennifer Love Hewitt was the killer?
No, Freddie Prinze.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I never even watched it.
Yeah. Oh, so I haven't either, but it's
I don't care, but really?
Yes.
They made him the killer?
Yeah, or one of the killers or the killer or whatever it is.
What would Ray
do you want to know why? Because there's not enough meat on the bone with I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's always lived in the shadow of Scream. The first film was fine. It was late 90s. It was fine. It was good. It was fine. But it never had the staying power. It didn't make Scream numbers. Why didn't I Know What You Did Last Summer with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. returning make Scream numbers? Because nobody cares. That's why. Nobody cares. And so, it's one of those things where they were trying to figure out a way.
They tried to make him the killer.
They did. They tried to figure out a way and to justify it and the disgruntled nature and to figure this out. You don't want that. Do you want, because eventually you're going to get to Scream 8 and 9 and 10. Oh, maybe we make Sydney the killer. And so they just stop. I was okay. Listen, say what you want about 5 and 6. I have no dog in this fight, but I will say that I liked 5 and 6 enough. And I think Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera are good, young, talented, hot stars today. I don't mean, I mean, they are attractive, but again, I mean, in demand is what I mean when I say hot. In demand. And they're two good young actors to have in those films. And they had a following. So they actually had a following. Sydney wasn't even in Scream 6, and it did gangbusters at the box office.
You do bring up a valid point, and in that the life of the Scream franchise certainly they have options here, right? So if it gets to a point where Nev really decides that she's done, and the franchise kind of just sits idle for a while, and if Melissa and Jenna are not doing much, say 10 years from now, because they're still young, they're in their 20s. So
they are.
When they get to their late 30s, maybe early 40s, 10, 15 years from now, if the franchise is just sitting idle, you could bring their characters back.
Yo, you could 100%.
I mean, so they do have, they did do it right in that regards by giving them an option within the franchise by introducing other characters that you could. You can connect other movies without actually having to always rely on, Gail and Sydney and Dewey and the OG character. So there is that.
Yes.
When you're thinking down the road,
for sure.
Because Nev's not going to do this forever. And neither is what's her name?
Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox, right?
Gail Weathers signing off.
There is an end game for them with this.
You would think,
but. But I mean, look, 10, 15 years from now, believe me, that it's not going to be easy for them to do a Scream movie. You know what I mean? There is the physicality to it that they're just not going to be able to do that. They've got to be at least, Nev Campbell, I know, is at least 10 years older than you and I.
No. She's, how old is she?
Sure?
She's not 10 years older. No.
I thought she was like 53, 50 something.
She's 52.
All right, so she's 6 years older.
6 years, yeah.
Oh, close enough. But Courtney Cox is for sure. Courtney Cox is 10 years, if not more than 10 years older.
Courtney.
I mean, she was dancing with Bruce Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark in '85. So,
Courtney Cox is 61. Yes.
So yeah, So Nev still has youth on her side.
There's more of an age difference between Cox and Campbell than there is between Campbell and us.
Absolutely. So with Nev Campbell, she does have youth on her side still to do as many as she wants to do. But yes, the point is that because they brought in Ortega and Melissa, that there is another option there for them, that if down the road, if Nev finally says she's done, and the franchise sits idle for a while, and
you know what?
Jenna and Melissa aren't doing anything, like they're not busy.
Well,
may come back
it could
and
be
say,
a
"Yeah,
good
why not?"
transition. It could be a
Right.
good transition. Maybe a death happens in Scream 8 or something. It's Sydney. She's going out, and then
Yeah.
Ghostface is running rampant. He's killing everybody, and then the movie ends on a cliffhanger, which is there's just this. It's this scene, you know. It's almost like an epilogue, and you have this scene where the camera's kind of tracking in this apartment. You know, you hear the traffic noise outside, and you hear a phone ringing. Not that ringtone because it's not 1998. But you know, you hear, you know, something.
Chat room saying Courtney Cox is 75. Courtney Cox is 137.
She is. You hear the phone,
Botox.
and then a hand reaches in and picks up the phone, right, and says hello, and the camera swings around, and as the camera swings around, and as you see the face of Melissa Barrera, Sam, you hear Ghostface's voice, "Hello, Sam." Cut to black.
There you go.
That's it. And it's like, and then they're back. And then that would lead into whatever you're going to do next. Can you imagine that? And nobody knows she's in it. You fucking Cobra Kai that shit. Nobody knows that Barrera is in it. It's something you can shoot. It's the epilogue. You can shoot that with relative secrecy. And because it's just a short scene that appears at the end of a movie, and maybe Sydney's died. Maybe it's like, oh my God, this movie, what's happening? And to just bring the audience up a bit, just at the end, you're like, who is this woman at this table? I don't really know.
And of course, that's also like, we're watching it happen in real time too.
Yeah.
You know, movies and the way we view movies 10, 15 years from now is going to be entirely different. I don't know how we keep saying that, like what the theater and what the sustaining power, you know, it has, but you know, those theaters are big, and you know, the rent for these places aren't cheap. You know, it's not like AMC and Regal own these properties. You know, they got employees they got to pay, you know, bills they got to pay. And I think within mine and your lifetime, if we live long lives, right, to like 90s, you know, or I'm trying to aim for 125. That's my goal.
I'm going for 98.
I'm going for 120. I'm going for 125. I've said that. Like
98, baby. Since I was a kid, I'm like, I'm living a 98.
Yeah, I want 125. So I think within both of our life,
you can be one of the oldest living men in the history.
Absolutely. I'm going.
The history of the species.
Right. Well, you know, depending on, like, you know, if you get into biblical stuff, they live for like 900 years. But yeah, 125 is my goal. But my point is, I think in our lifetime, we will see the end of movie theaters. I do think that.
Oh, yeah, quite possibly. I mean, things are shaking right now.
I just don't see them being able to financially be able to sustain themselves, because I think there's a number of factors. Yes, you can say the economy, but it's not just that. You know,
no. There's lots of stuff.
Well, because when people say it's the economy, it's like, well, fucking Taylor Swift is selling $4,000 seats, and trust me, millionaires aren't going to see Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? They're not, when she's singing in front of 40,000 kids in their moms and whatnot. Those aren't all. I'm not saying rich people aren't going to see Taylor Swift, but the point is that people are paying money to go see what they want to see. But I think there's just a lot of factors, right? You know, we had an incident here when me and her went to the theaters to see The Conjuring, and two guys were getting into it behind us. And in this day and age, back in the day, I probably would have, you know, gotten involved and be like, come on, like, you know, but in this day and age, people are too trigger happy that you just don't know, like, if you open your mouth, are you going to get in the middle of something?
Well, especially in the States.
In the States, right? You know, like,
I don't have to worry about that here, but
no, not there, but here it's like, you just, you know,
it's true.
So like, you just, like, people think they're in their living rooms, you know, and just like, you know, and we've, like, when we saw the Wes Anderson movie, it was pretty empty. Even when we saw The Conjuring, and that was in its early run, that theater was pretty empty. I cannot remember the last time I've been to the movie theaters. Spider-Man probably was one of the last ones where I saw where it was a packed house.
Why do you think Marvel is going to get, you know?
Not necessarily though.
No,
you know, not, you know, and I don't know. I just think there's the appeal to go into movies is certainly dropping, because I think people do like being in the comfort of their home.
Well, they do. I agree with everything you've said, and that's part of it. The culture has shifted. There's a cultural shift, and even though we're in our 40s, our mid 40s, and approaching 50, the cultural shift is affecting us as well. And if you have children, which we do not, but if you are our age and have children, you are affected by their cultural shift that is appealing more to them. And so that usually is what ends up happening, is that the culture, the world is always, the entertainment world, the landscape, the culture is usually always geared towards, the 18 to 34 crowd. And once you hit, middle age in your mid 40s, the culture is not really for you anymore. I mean, you live in it and you deal with it and, you ride along with it. But it will continue to change. And once the kids today have kids and they get into their mid 40s or whatever, the culture will change again, and it'll be more about their kids and whatnot. And so you're right. And the problem is, like I said this on my show the other day, no matter how great your home theater setup is, and some people have great home theater setups,
I
right?
have one.
Same here, right? I have a 75-inch TV, surround sound, the whole thing. It's great. And it's great. And it's convenient. You can go to the bathroom, you can pause on those guys, all those people, 100%. But no matter how great your home setup is, and there are some great ones, in my opinion, and I'm including my, setup in this, it does not compare to the movie-going experience, not the shit that comes with it sometimes, but the actual experience of sitting in a movie theater with a 50-foot fucking screen, Dolby surround sound or IMAX or whatever the case is, and sitting there watching your favorite horror movie or your favorite action movie with your friends or a great, well-behaved audience, and the only thing you hear is maybe the rustling of popcorn bags, and the audience cheers at the right moments and doesn't, cheer all the way through, or they get scared at the right moment. Seeing a great horror movie in the theater with a packed house can be a lot of fun and can be really, really great. The problem with movie theaters is that, the culture in terms of the younger people that are going, they don't know how to watch movies in movie theaters. I'm speaking generally, of course. I'm speaking generally, but there's a whole new wave of a generation that would be happy watching Endgame for the very first time on this. Literally on their phones. And so there's a whole generation that doesn't understand what the movie theaters really are, or the etiquette, or how to behave. And like you said, and you're absolutely right, it's not your fucking living room. It's like going to a show or to a play, whatever the case is. You got to shut the fuck up.
Between the 80s and the 90s, even up into the early 2000s, I mean, I lived at theaters, man. Like, I was there for sure once a month, sometimes during the summer, almost every week.
Yeah.
There was just always something to go and watch. Yeah. And, like you said, it was the experience. You go with your friends, you meet there, and, you just go and hang out, watch a movie together, and, have a good time. And you're 100% right. There's these young adults and kids today would rather sit there and just do this.
Yes. Yeah.
And watch it like that. And it's
100%.
Just, and I can't knock them though. I can't fault them for it, because that's just
that's the culture.
That's the culture they grew up in.
Yeah.
I mean,
they don't know any differently
for that, and I just think that within our lifetime, we will see just because of the way streaming is, and what streaming's become, as you will see probably the end of the
prices. And the other things that play a factor, the 30 minutes of commercials before a movie begins is ridiculous. That's
insane.
That is, I was about to say it's borderline, but I'm not going to say that. It is unequivocally completely disrespectful. I understand, I can intellectualize.
That's even before you get to 10 minutes of trailers.
Yeah, so I would rather watch 10 minutes of trailers.
Right.
And I don't want to watch 10 minutes of trailers, but I'd rather, because see, for me, I don't ever bitch and complain about the trailers, because to me, the trailers are part of the movie theater experience.
That is right. You always looked forward to, what's coming
out. Now, I don't think there should be 18 trailers, but if you play 3 or 4, I'm fine with that. Because that's part of the experience. It's the movie theater experience. I didn't go to the movie theater and pay, $18 to watch TV. And
right. So when you're you're adding more time, it's turning into, like you said, It's 30 minutes of advertisement,
Yeah.
then 10 minutes. So you're there for almost 40 minutes before your movie even starts.
So if it says your movie starts at 7, it's really probably about 7:35, 7:40.
Right.
You know, and that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I understand why it's done, but that to that degree is unacceptable. And the prices, of course, have gone up because less people are going to the movie theater, so the prices go up. It's not that people don't want to go to the movies. It's that the experience of going to the movies has been shattered. And now people equate going to the movies with all the bullshit things that actually have nothing to do with the movie experience, the one-on-one relationship you have with the movie at all. I mean, unless a bulb burns out or the sound is shit, the actual movie experience, the movie-going experience, you and your girlfriend or you and your buddies or just you, whatever, sitting there on your ass in a seat with some munchies and popcorn, the lights go out, the screen is on, 50-foot screen, you're watching your favorite movie. That is not replicated anywhere. I don't care how great your movie theater is at home. It's not that there aren't great movie theaters at home.
Unless you build a miniature movie theater.
Yeah,
like if you're a mansion, right, and you're living like that, right?
But even still, your screen's probably not the IMAX at the AMC down the road, right? No. And so it's one of those things where the experience, the movie theater experience, is second to none. It's the superfluous shit that comes with it that people are too tired for. Phones, people checking their phones, lights coming on, people yapping, talking, texting, the prices are too high, they don't have this, and all this shit. Like, I don't want to deal with it, so I'm just going to watch it at home. Yep. That's the problem. It's not the actual experience. It's not like the experience of watching a movie in the theater. The actual relationship with the movie is shit. No, it's amazing.
When we went to movies, like I always bring, I've mentioned this several times. One of my favorite, I can still see it in my head to this day. One of my favorite movie going experience. Well, there's a few, but this one is certainly top of my list. Was Home Alone. The first time when that movie came out, and all of us were there watching that for the very first time. And I just remember in unison, we all at the right beats, at the right moments that he wanted us to laugh, we all laughed as a whole. Nobody was talking. Nobody was
on phones.
You were with each other in that. The other experience that was really good, where the audience got up and actually started clapping and cheering at the end, was the end of Independence Day.
Oh, yes.
I mean, again, fun 96. Movie, popcorn movie, but when we win the battle, people literally, I just remember, people getting up and clapping at the end of that movie. We don't do that anymore as a culture. We're not engaged because we've become so disconnected because of technology.
Well, that's it.
We didn't have the technology back in the 80s and 90s. So when we went all as people to go see these movies, we were all there to enjoy the experience. Now, look, trust me, not every movie was selling out back in the day. There were movies we went to where it was
shitty movies back then.
Yeah.
There's always been shitty movies.
Empty seats or not packed out, so I'm not trying to say but the point is that people were certainly lining up to go see the movies more frequently back then than they are today. And it's just too bad, but
there's been a huge shift.
It's the culture.
It's the culture. It's been a huge shift. And there's a couple of super chats I need to get to.
I got to get going.
But the last thing I'll say on that too is that folks, and I do this all the time. Now I understand I don't have kids and I don't have to worry about a babysitter or potentially something happening, but I do this all the time. When I go to the movie theater, my phone is usually on silent anyway, but I will immediately, what I'll do is I will put the brightness all the way down. And I will put the phone under my leg. I'll put it under my leg if I'm expecting something. If I'm expecting my agent to get in touch with me or whatever the case is, if I'm expecting something, I'll put it on vibrate and I'll just put it under my leg. And there's been times I'll be watching a movie and I'll feel, I'm like, oh. And then my phone is already, dim. So then I open it up, I look at it. It's so dim, nobody fucking knows. Like maybe the guy right beside me sees me pull it out or something. Pull it out, not that kind of thing. Pull out my phone, folks. Pull out my phone. Maybe he sees that, but nobody else is bothered by it. It is astounding to me how many people don't do this. They don't put their phones on silent, or at least vibrate, and they don't put the brightness down. I don't understand. I don't understand this. I mean, it's astounding to me the incompetence of some people and the disrespect for your fellow moviegoers. It's just incredible, absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, and then Dr. Corn Dog says, did you like the Michael Jackson movie trailer? I watched it. I did like it.
Yeah,
I did. Thought it was good. I'm looking forward to seeing more.
Yeah.
Josh McKenna, $9.99, says, what are some random hip things you said as a kid? Gen Z comes up with the most random things. A new hip thing Gen Z says is 6'7". I've heard this. I don't know what the fuck 6'7" even means.
I know what it is because my girlfriend's kids taught me what that meant.
What is it?
I'm going to have to tell them that we said 6'7". 6'7" was brought up on the show because her son just like, it doesn't really mean anything. I guess like someone really popular like said it, and like so now the kids are saying it like 6'7", 6'7". I'm gonna have to tell her.
So because somebody popular, well, what did they mean when they said it?
I just doesn't really mean anything. It's kind of like how like remember when we were saying not back in the day,
right?
You know,
right,
like that was like a really popular thing for a brief period. Like
talk to the hand, whatever.
Talk to the hand, or in fact, we were talking about this too on a ride.
Right.
Like the things that we said as kids growing up versus to what they're saying today. Like I didn't even know what cap was. Like no cap. I'm like, what the fuck is no cap? Like no baseball cap. No cap means like I'm not lying, or I'm lying, or like if you say it's cap, like they're lying, or no cap means.
So you're lucky because your girlfriend's got kids, so you can be up on all this stuff.
I'm keeping up. They're keeping me up with the trend of stuff. But yeah, the words we said back in the 80s and 90s, wicked, like that was a North, like that wicked. Was wicked, which was good.
Cody Snyder says what? Psych.
Yeah, that was like that was a big one for us. Psych. Not, as we said, that was a big one.
That was huge. Yeah,
that was huge. Really, the girls were really using that one.
Yeah.
That was
I really like you, man. Not.
You know, early 90s when Dave and I were young, there was some Bart Simpson, you know, like Cowabunga, or that was the Turtles.
Cowabunga. Rad. Yeah, that's radical.
Rad. There were some Bart Simpson phrases too.
We were sort of on the cusp of the transitioning out of that girls were foxes and now they became hot. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like I remember that.
Rad and bad was more 80s. We didn't really say that.
Well, we were in the.
I mean, we were kids. You know what I mean? Like we weren't
teenagers.
Yeah, like if we were teenagers in the 80s, we probably would have been saying that a little bit. I'm trying to think, what else did we say that were popular?
Oh, then words? You know, a lot of the time,
totally,
yeah.
Even before Halloween, look up Clueless with Alicia Silverstone. Yeah. Girls like that kind of like totally. Like, you know,
well, that's the kind of girl that
the California
what's her face was
right?
playing. Yeah. That kind of PJ Souls. And then you had your own like inside sort of sayings with your buddies too. That you know was just like between you guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, and then there's a few things. I
can't say some of that stuff on.
I was just gonna say, and then there's a few things that we all used to say that is no longer appropriate. A lot of things
that we used to say that we cannot say, and we would call it to each other. Okay, like we would say this to each other, like the R word. Like, oh man, that was like heavy in rotation. Like we would say that to we wouldn't say it to like people with disabilities. Like we would just call each other that word.
Right. Oh yeah. A lot definitely has changed.
But you know what's crazy? What word is now no longer like, I didn't realize this, but it's for real. Like I see at a time when Dave and I grew up, this word was very offensive for people, but now it's not, is the word queer. Like now it is accepted. It's part of the 50 million acronyms that I'm never going to learn. So that's
the LBGTQ.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
But queer now is not a derogatory word anymore. Like, but when you and I were kids growing up, that was very much a derogatory word that you didn't, you wouldn't say to say to people. So it's interesting how language also can change as
Yes.
well too,
Yep.
where words
Agreed.
back in the day were hurtful and harmful words like the word queer, and now it's part of the acronyms that these young kids. I give you all credit, man. I can't even remember what I ate yesterday. The fact that y'all remember what all that shit means, like thumbs up, because I can't remember anything.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much. I mean, like those were some of the popular words, but I mean, like honestly, man, like Dave said, like with my guy friends, like it was just a lot of cursing.
Yes.
I mean, a
lot of stuff.
cursing. A lot of cursing.
Eddie Chase sends in $4.99, says AMC and Regal have monthly subscriptions and you can watch as much as you want. Watch 2 and it pays for itself. Yes, if well, there you go. Every theater has a thing like that. I guess it depends on how often you're going to the movies, whether you'll get use out of it. Because even if it pays for itself and you don't really go to the movies that much, it almost feels like, I don't know, a waste, because you're paying a monthly subscription, but if you're not really using it, it's great if you go to the movies a lot. Yes, I will say that. That wouldn't be good for me, because even though I'm a movie guy and I'm a filmmaker, I don't go. All of you probably go, like all you in the chat probably go to the theater way more than I do. I mean, the last time I was in the theater was August when I saw Weapons.
Okay.
So I haven't been to the theater since, and so something like that. We have something like that here too, but it wouldn't. I mean, I would just be paying a monthly subscription for nothing, essentially. But anyway, but if you go to the movie like 2 or 3 times a month, yeah, it's great. It's great for that. Josh.
Oh, you know what another one was? What? That was more early 2000s, and that was only because of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And when I would show up at the radio, I would piss them off. I would show up at the radios because I mixed for the DJs or the on-air talent. I would do the mix shows for an hour, and I would see the red light on, and I would come into the booth like knowing I could tell that they were about to wrap up, and I'd open the door and be like, "What?
Right.
With the door, like, oh my God, they hated that, because I was a big Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. So that's one that I think everybody, was pretty much doing. When he was making that popular,
right.
I would do the exact same shit.
I didn't have a circle of friends that did that, but I know what you're talking about. Like, I do know what you're talking about. Josh McKenna says, I'm worried about Wicked for Good, the sequel to Wicked. I'm going to see it. I hope people don't sing. The people who think they can sing can't. They are not on Ariana Grande's level. Here's the thing too. Like, I'm
actually excited for it, because I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, it's a tough one, because I understand that it's a musical, and so people want to be able to sing, and their hearts are in the right place. But the problem is, you're right, Josh. Most people can't sing, so they're singing, and it's just a bunch of out-of-tune people that really bring it all down. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a curmudgeon, but I get it's a musical. But it's not a theater. It's not, it's not, sorry, like a live play.
Like live.
Yeah. I think you should just sit down and shut up and watch the movie and not sing. Yeah. And not feel compelled, because you got to be mindful of other people. Not everybody there wants that. You know what I mean? Or maybe they try to set up, singing. If you want to sing and jump up and down, go on, well, then it's theater, number 8, but if you want to just watch it and be a curmudgeon like Dave McRae, it's theater number 7. I don't know. That's how I kind of feel about it. But
I'm excited for it, just because I want to see how they're gonna. Because I'm a big Wizard of Oz fan, like the novels. I read the novels. I have the first 9 books that Frank Baum wrote, and when I say there are 5 books per book, so it's actually 15 books, but it's broken up into individual different books.
Right.
That's what I meant to say. So it's 15 books. The first 15 is what I have, or there's 16. There's a short one. Anyways, that's getting into off topic. I'm curious to see what they do with Dorothy and how they're going to bring her in, how much of an integral part to this part of the story. Because I'm not a big fan of Wicked, the movie itself. I watched it not too long ago for the first time. The musical didn't really do anything for me either. I was just like, meh, like, I'm not hating on it. Like, it was, whatever.
Right.
But I'm very curious to see what they do with Dorothy. I still would love more than anything, and they sort of did in the 80s with Return to Oz, which if you ever seen Return to Oz, that's really like, especially
I haven't actually.
You should watch it, because the way the characters, like as far as like the costume designs and everything, that was more true to the illustrations of the book.
Right.
The Wizard of Oz books that Frank L. Baum wrote, and the illustrations that were done. That was more in line to just the world he created. And the Wizard of Oz is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love what they did. You know, Margaret Hamilton forever will be the Wicked Witch. I mean, she's the definitive witch. She was born for that role. I take nothing away from this woman who's playing her in Wicked. I take nothing away from Mila Kunis, who played her in that movie with James Franco. But I mean, Margaret Hamilton will forever be the definitive. It's kind of like Boris Karloff. He's the definitive Frankenstein. Like his face, his look is the brand of that character. And I feel the same thing with Margaret Hamilton as the Wicked Witch. Having said that, I would love for someone to go, you know, Wizard of Oz is a very dark story. I mean, it's not like all sunshines and, I mean, it's dark. I mean, some bad fucking, like, if you ever read the novels, like the fact that kids were reading this shit, I mean, it's dark. And a lot of fucked up shit happens in that journey, you know, for Dorothy to get to Oz. I mean, fucked up shit. Like real, like you're just like, what the fuck? Like, you know,
well, and I like a good musical, you know, like a good
too,
musical
I would love
can be
to
great.
See someone,
I just don't want people screaming and yelling and singing in the theater.
But I would love more than anything for someone to do, like, take the story that we get in the novels and, you know, stay true to that, because they're going to be borderline almost horror. Right. And I'm not fucking kidding you. Like the tragedy of what happens to Tin Man, like the real story. Like, do you know what really happens to him?
Vaguely.
The dude basically gets ripped apart.
Yeah.
By the the witch.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. I'm not even kidding you. I mean, literally is, and they are. He's not like sugarcoating the description of what's happening.
Is that in the public domain yet? The guys that made Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey should get on it.
It's not because of the witch. It's not. It's he was in love, and damn, it's been a minute since I've read this. He was in love, the Tin Man, and it was because of the relationship. Something like the father didn't approve of the relationship, that the woman that he wouldn't provide her with a good home or something like that. But anyways, the tragedy behind what happens to Tin Man is it's fucking dark. The dude just basically gets ripped to shreds, and they don't pull back on or Frank didn't pull back on the description of when he was writing that. Even the same thing of what happened to Scarecrow. Like we only see what happens. I got to read it again, because now I'm drawing a blank on what the hell happened to Tin Man. This is what happens when you get old.
Yeah.
And I'm going to remember it 2 seconds as soon as we get done. But I would love to see someone just take that risk and say, okay, we're going to fucking do what they did, and it's going to be dark. And there's no ruby slippers. They're silver slippers.
Right.
The only reason why they did the ruby slippers is because when they made Wizard of Oz, they didn't have the rights. So they couldn't do the silver slippers. That's done in the novel. They didn't have the rights to do that. So they did the ruby slippers instead. So
fascinating. Interesting.
And I'm really pissed that I can't remember what. No, because it's really fucked up what happens.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Kids were reading this.
Well, a lot of nursery rhymes were like that too. A lot of the nursery rhymes that we know to be loving and
like
sweet.
Grimm's?
Well, just a lot of them are just horrible and gruesome and awful. But listen, this has been a good show. Again, if you're watching live or after the fact, we were supposed to do a show today on Dr. Sleep with guest Nick Jenny, who, again, we have to fulfill 2 more It's Me Billy Chapter 2 perks. But unfortunately, Nick was having some technical difficulties, so we're going to reschedule that. and talk about Dr. Sleep at another date. But I want to thank, of course, the super chats and member chats that came in. And yeah, this has been a good show today, though. Impromptu, talking about all sorts of stuff we talked about today.
We did.
Holy shit. It's been a good one, man. It's been a good one. Any last things you want to say, Tony?
No, this was fun. If I don't know if we'll see each other. So happy Thanksgiving. But we'll be back probably shortly after Thanksgiving, which is
I think so. Well, we celebrated our Thanksgiving on the second Monday of October. You guys celebrate your Thanksgiving on the last Thursday in November. But nonetheless,
I probably won't see or get a chance to tell everybody happy Thanksgiving to those who are celebrating it.
That's it.
We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
That's exactly it. Folks, thank you for joining us on this episode of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. My name is Dave McCrae. He's Tony Michael. Stay safe out there. And jump into the comment section and let us know your thoughts on anything we had to say here today. We would really like to know. That's going to do it. Alrighty, folks. Take care. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. And we'll talk to you all soon. Alrighty. Cheers.